Hey, good evening, everybody. From all of us here at Starfleet headquarters, I'm Admiral Jeffrey Higdon, Chief of Communications for Starfleet, and I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Have our Starfleet IG, Steve Stott. How you doing tonight, Steve?
Doing great.
And each of the others, would you please introduce yourselves?
All right. I guess I'll get that started. I am Captain Jonathan Darnell, Captain of the USS Serenity, and Senior Vice Regional Coordinator for Region 1.
I'll go next. I'm Fleet Captain Charlotte Gordon of the USS Columbia, Region 1.
And I am Fleet Captain Rob Eel of the USS Nomad and Regional Coordinator for Region 13.
Well, welcome to all, and we'll just go around the board to see how things are going with your chapters and any announcements you got. So, you have any announcements? Things that you guys have been doing, that kind of stuff.
As some in Region 1 are aware, that we are actually going to have a online summit this summer. We are planning for Sunday, July 18th from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I know that there was a little question about that, but we are going to be announcing the awards, of course, and then we also are trying to work on a few other little things to throw in there as well. So just keep in touch, and we'll keep you informed. And also, as for my chapter, we'll be going to Con Carolinas next weekend, representing Starfleet in our first convention back since COVID.
Well, thank you. Charlotte, anything going on with your region and you?
With my ship, myself and my XO are up for promotion. Myself to Commodore and Captain Kalen to Fleet Captain. We just got our letter of recommendation in from our RC, so hopefully here in the next few weeks we'll hear something. We're also
good luck on that.
Definitely appreciate it. We're updating our website now due to the GPRD. We had to do a few changes, so now we're making it updated, making everything compliant.
Oh, thank you. And Rob, how's everything in your region today?
Actually, it's really busy. We have an event going on June 1st. It's a NASA presentation that we've arranged, and it was first for our chapter, but we've opened it up now with permission from the presenter for everyone in the fleet. And so if you're interested in attending that, it's at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and it's going to talk about different NASA programs as well as the Mars landing and things like that. So contact Erin Davis. She's a Vice Regional Coordinator in Region 13, and she can send you a link to be a part of that. As well, we're launching Starbase 13, which will host some of the events for and announcements for the region. And we are working on our regional conference for the middle of July. It's going to be virtual because in Ontario, we're still in lockdown, although our other half in the US are all opened up. We're going to be doing a virtual event in July.
Well, thank you, Rob. Anything else important? Something with your chapter?
Our chapter is currently hosting 2 watch parties a week on Thursdays and Saturdays, and everyone in the fleet are invited to those events. On Monday nights, we host a trivia night. Again, everyone in the fleet is welcome to attend those. The events are posted on Region 13 websites. All are welcome. The times are always in Eastern Standard Time, and we look forward to seeing everybody there.
Well, we appreciate everything you guys have given us. Hey, how is the IG's office today, Stephen?
IG's office is rolling. We're doing all right, staying busy, staying gainfully employed. We're at a break at the moment in terms of regional elections. Next round of region elections start back up in August. Had a slew, maybe about, I want to say about 3 different investigations going on, which all those hopefully are getting wrapped up. They're all at the either the Commander Starfleet or investigation committee stage.
All right.
The local level, I didn't mention it earlier, but I am the XO in Region 1 of the USS Ronald McNair. And the McNair, we've been doing a couple of doing virtual meetings, of course, because of the pandemic. But hopefully, keeping our fingers crossed, we're looking at doing a in-person meeting starting up in June. And I think we're going to shoot for maybe our putt-putt golf. So,
Those are fun times, I'm sure.
Yeah, either that or a trampoline, going to do some trampoline dodgeball.
Well, that would be unique. Maybe we should bring that to the picnic in a couple of months here. It's almost, get Steve to bounce up on down on a trampoline dodging balls. That's all there is to it. Get Jim Herring to do it too. That would be a sight. Oh boy! And remember that picnic that Starfleet has going on at the end of July, I believe, or end of June. Someone know out there so I can let everybody know. I just don't have it at my fingertips at the moment. As far as the communications world, just remember that you need to have your articles, reports, pictures, maybe even photo. Maybe you can do a photo essay like the old Star Trek books. You remember the photo novels they used to have? Maybe we can do a photo novel out of it. I don't know. I think Dennis would kill me. But remember, those are due by the 15th of July for the August publication. So, and we already got that rolling down on the bottom. We also want to note from Tim Johns that they are going to be doing rewards over in Region 20, I believe. Oh, they just had their awards. Is what I've been informed of. So, congratulations to all the award winners. Hey, we got any questions from the peanut gallery? I mean, the members out there that are a party of us today. Okay, so do we contact about the SFI logo on the back of our Region Challenge coins? Who do we contact about using the SFI logo on the back of our Region Challenge coin? I believe you can use that on your Region Challenge coins because the region is part of Starfleet. I mean, really. It isn't like they're going to branch out into another chapter, another region. So I think it is my experience that it's an implied permission. But I would suggest going to the Commander Starfleet's office if you have any doubts. Okay.
Yeah, I believe the compliance office under Dennis would be the one to answer that for him.
Yeah, I think so too. I also think of anything going on the front to make sure it's compliant, meaning it's not violating any, what do you call that, trademarks or register trademarks or anything like that. Which of our current guests is going to be at the CS picnic at the end of July? Anybody here going? Oh, Charlotte. Brave of you.
I might be going. We're still kind of wait and see on that right now.
I've been informed thusly that I better be there.
Oh, okay. Steve, you going or trying to make it?
I may try to go. It depends on my wife in terms of, because she has a business on the weekends there.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to get a pass from her to be able to go.
Oh my! And you're in Region 13. Are you in Michigan or are you up in the Canadian provinces, Rob?
I'm in Ontario, and we're
So you
still
won't
under
be
lockdown.
coming. Okay. Now,
Well, we're under
depending
lockdown
on
till
the
June
state,
14th.
I've noticed that depending on the state, there are degrees of lockdowns in those states. I mean, I believe Washington is still pretty locked down compared to where I live. Oh, USS Goddard's going to be going to the barbecue. That's excellent news. I don't know whether I'm going to be there. I'm probably not, only because of previous obligations. What are those obligations? I don't know yet. But no.
Wow. Obligations, huh?
No. I'm one of the poor devils that have to roam around in a cart at the store. So, electric cart. So, it's because years ago something happened, and you wouldn't want to hear that. But I also have neuropathy in my feet. And Steve has mentioned this on our broadcast before, that I have trouble with my feet. I've gotten used to it. Finally, I found a way not to have my foot slip off the brake onto the gas. And that can be damaging, I can tell you. Washington State will hopefully be opening up in June 30th. I hope so too, Gene. It was one of the harder hit states in this pandemic, if you remember. Illinois got it pretty good, but we're about to go into the stage before the complete opening, which means Wrigley Field won't be completely packed, but for Cubs games, but it'll be close to it. And also on June 30th, I was remembering, here in Illinois, I won't need to wear a mask. My wife will. That's the strange thing. My wife will have to wear a mask. I won't, because I've had the shots, and she refuses to get them. So anyway, we got any more questions out of there? Does mean they will serve GOG if the Klingon flag's being flown? I think that's a given. I don't know. I really don't.
I think my XO Chris is going to be bringing that, so
Okay.
we won't disappoint.
No, but we're going to hopefully, and I believe we do have a date for the Steve. Steve is kind of here, believe it or not. He's here, not only in spirit, but he's on the chat. So we can relay his answers to your questions if you need to need to have an answer to it. Earlier, Steve, we had a question about who to go to about using the Starfleet logo on the back of challenge coins. Do you have any comments on that? And so I'll relay the message. Any one of you can relay it too. Oh boy. But I guess there's nothing other than what we've said. You should check either with the Commander's Starfleet office or the Compliance office, which is Dennis Rayburn, at the head of that. So we are here to answer your questions. This is why it is Ask Me Anything.
I do have a question for the
Commander?
CS.
Okay.
Yes.
You got a question here, Steve. Go ahead.
And it's kind of about the database, but it's not.
Okay, play the database thing.
The question was from one of my crew members. It was my fault. I usually send them an email in regards to their membership expiring. But his request was, is the database not sending out emails to members who are expiring, or is that something that we can work on?
I think it would be excellent if we can get that added. Our primary, and I think Steve can confirm it here. Our primary is to get the database online. First of all,
True that.
I don't know whether this is the new
Nothing extra.
database they got online. I mean, Tony's done a fantastic job so far of keeping things with the old database, and if this is the new database, it's done excellently. Getting things on, getting things to there. But as far as I know, there is no okay things that send out, no emails being sent out by the database. I think it would be a great thing to put on his to-do list, maybe down at number 207. But I've thought about that, or get a specialized retention officer to go through and send such emails out. I think that might be our second choice. But Steve, he just can't. I'm here, but I can't log in. Okay, we understand, Steve. You have 2 questions about the quartermaster, Mike. What is it? What is your first question? Oh, we have a question to Steve. Are you playing with fire? From Sean Durer. I hope I pronounced that right. So, are you playing with fire, Steve? No, I don't know. He just can't log in. They had, from what I understand, they had a storm pass through the area, and that is affecting his internet. That is why is there no means to verify you are not a robot and therefore can't complete order? This would be something to bring up to Tony. Tony would work with our Starfleet quartermaster, who happens to be our financial officer, Linda Olson, and I think that's a good idea. I think that's a very good idea. I don't think she's having problems with that, but right now it's not needed, Mike, at the moment. I think it would be a very good idea to do. That is a great idea to pass on. And what's your number 2 question here? When will Starfleet magnetic nameplates be available again? All right. I think they're already available. Just contact, I believe, Greg Mortensen. If it's not on the main SFI page on how to get it, then we'll get it for you up there. I cannot place an order. Okay. We'll find out why. So, hello, Steve. Again. Not just the database, sister. Our own provider is an issue too. Sending out emails that get us flagged from spamming. So more auto emails, the worse we get flagged. Okay, that answers a question that was given a few minutes ago. Contact Greg Mortensen, who is the person doing that for everybody, I believe. I could be wrong. Am I wrong, Steve? I usually am wrong. But we'll find out.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, Greg Morrison, I think, is the one to contact for the name tags, but also at the same time, I think he is able to take orders. But the problem is he can't ship out the orders from Australia right now due to I don't know. It was some issue that he was having that they can't ship to the United States for some reason.
Okay, that might be why it's not on our website. So be patient. We'll have that back up soon enough. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, it is Greg. It's been confirmed by Steve. Greg has got that. Yeah. Another thing is each commanding officer is responsible toward the memberships, although some of us don't have the time to keep looking back on your memberships. I've got luckily I don't know if I have memberships due, but my chapter, that is. So some places believe it should be the CO's responsibility. However, I disagree. I think it's everybody in the leadership position that has access to that. Now, I know operations has a time keeping track of our chapters, which one's compliant and stuff like that, assisted stoutly by our IG and JAG officer as well. You need an SFI flag. Okay, contact Linda. I'm pretty sure they got some. Has a new challenge coin been made? Also, when will it be available for purchase? Steve, do we have have any thing on that question there? Yeah, definitely. You would need a Starfleet flag. I agree. Where is, by the way, Michael, where is that convention? In August. Maybe we can, if Starfleet members are going to it that aren't member of the Belknap, that we can send them your way. They'll surely see you, though. Once we get you a Starfleet flag. I believe Starfleet flags are available through the quartermaster's office. And you just check with Linda with that, Linda Olson. Awesome Con. Where exactly is that? Chris Kalin is asking a question. Oh, we'll get this. This uniform questions for you, Steve.
Yeah, on the IG, yeah, I got that from through ThinkGeek. Yes, and I love it.
Okay, that awesome con, by the way, is in Washington, D.C. So if you can get there, go. Shatner and Taki will be there. George Taki. So,
Definitely glad to be getting back to conventions. I miss them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hearing about them. I got one member that goes to conventions all over the Chicagoland area, and one here that would like to go to conventions. Okay, and Eric gives the address for the Awesome Con. So, what would you need to talk about creating a group within Starfleet? Depends on the group. We may already have a group like that. I mean, it isn't like it's a member. I mean, Marine Corps or MACO or the science or even sciences. There are other groups. A group sort of like Pet Fleet or All Access. Talk to Commander. Contact him by email. You know the email address, cs@sfi.org. Oh yeah, go ahead, Steve, and Rob. Tell us a little bit about that NASA event. I think you already told us a lot, but do it again, will you please?
Okay, well, on June the 1st at 6 p.m., we have contacted a member from NASA who is putting on a presentation via Zoom. So it was originally for our chapter, but with his permission, we have been able to open it up to the fleet. They'll be talking about different NASA missions, different NASA programs, as well as the Mars landing that just occurred and more about that. So everyone's invited. It's free, and you just have to contact Erin Davies, the Vice Regional Coordinator at Region 13, and she will send you the link for your spot.
Okay. So, well, that sounds like an interesting event there for the region and for the whole of the fleet. I think there was another such an event a month or two ago within Region 1, if I remember right. There's a fan expo in Toronto. We'll make sure to put that up. It sounds like fun. So, Steve, I agree with you, Steve. Hopefully, hopefully, Region 13 will be open for fall conventions. Tiffany says. So I have to agree with you. The whole continent, Mexico, United States, Canada, and Greenland. So, okay, there are two conventions coming to, maybe two conventions coming to the Indianapolis area. Doug Jones, who is Saru, will be Captain Saru will be at one of them. It looks like. So hopefully that'll work out. That'll work out. Fan Expo in Toronto is being moved from September to October. You members who are in the Toronto area that may attend this or want to attend that.
It looks like Aaron had a question about regular events like watch parties.
How do we okay, here's saying, are there any events happening, maybe regular watch parties? It depends. Check with your regional coordinator first. Sometimes your regional coordinator will have an events coordinator or a person who oversees that. Any other events happening within your region? I believe each of you mentioned summits or a conference of some sort here. So
we have anybody who's more than welcome to join the Columbia's watch party. We have one at least once a month via Discord, and everyone's invited. I stream, and we usually vote on what we're going to watch. I think we're going to be watching the documentary coming up. I think it's on Netflix. I don't know. Lowell mentioned it, and so did the Admiral, but we'll be streaming that here, I believe, in the next few weeks. So I'll post it in the members only group, and everyone's more than welcome to come join.
Well, usually, Michael, the honorary memberships given to dignitaries such as CAST and the such are between them, and then a chapter might find out, talk to them somehow, and have them join their chapter. I know the USS Angelus has a little known member by the name of Sir Patrick Stewart. So, but there are others that have Vaughn. If you watch the pre-introduction to our show tonight, you notice that they mentioned that Vaughn Alexander is a member. Astronaut Fred Hayes is a member. Card-carrying members. There are other members out there that are actors that are members of Starfleet. And usually we offer it to them. They can accept, or they can say no or not say anything. Usually it's not say anything. But anyway, we have the Fan Expo will be on October 22nd and 24th in Toronto. So that's good. Inaugural Winnipeg Con coming up. That is cool. And this is cool too. Winnipeg Con, Comic Con. We just had the Chicago Comic Con here a little while ago. So, and it was, understand, had a pretty good attendance despite being a low attendance, than usual. I went to Comic-Con one year and that place was packed. And that was at the Convention Center in just off of the airport in Rosemont. So hope everybody goes to as many conventions as they can or are willing to go to. I'm more into going to conferences like the ones we have. So USS Alba has Max Godrich. So we're happy about that. Let's see what else we got to. UK, UJK London will be hosting Destination Star Trek in November, which is something a lot of places have been trying to get for a while. I really don't know of that question. I know when I was regional coordinator for at least 1 year we had a booth, but yes, there usually is booth. They for a couple years after I went, which was about 2011. A couple years after they decided they wanted to charge for booths, and about the same price as a exhibitor's booth price, and we said we couldn't afford that. But I think they've opened it up again, so we'll see that. Steel City Con in Monroe, Pennsylvania, will be happening next month, and William Shatner will be there. So our next conference, the one I'm going to be attending, will be virtual in August. So, but they do have a Region 12 Summit, and I don't know what they're going to do this year. Last year we had to cancel it. They even have they didn't have a remote one, which kind of surprised me. I asked them about it, and I heard they're probably do a remote one this year. So just keep an eye on your emails or the Facebook channels you are members of. So, do we have any more questions out there? Good. That popped up at just the right time. Yes, we'll be presenting that real soon. You get your information to myself or our new Vice Chief of Communications. That would be why do I forget these things? Anyway, and we'll be doing reports. You can actually make a video, and if it's good enough, we'll have it on. We will. We got a excellent news a news story coming up from Region 9 on our first premiere episode of Starfleet at Large. I hope everybody can do it. Just keep your eye out for when we're going to have it. It's not too far off in the distant future, I guarantee that. And right now we are in the process of putting that show together. It's a whole different show than the AMAs and the Starfleet After Dark. A whole different show. So I'll be there, and I hope you'll be there too. Navy, okay, outside the investigation, what does the IG's office do, Steve?
Well, interesting question. We have two main things, as you mentioned. We got the regional elections that I'm in charge of running, and the other thing with investigation basically is, it is what it is. What I would like to do is take a minute or two, though, to reach out to you COs out there. Like I just mentioned, we have the regional coordinator elections that come up. And one of the challenges we have sometimes is getting the engagement of the COs to vote. For those of you that don't know as members, at the regional level, when a regional coordinator election is running, it's the chapter COs that actually are the voting members, as it were. So the two important things I would say there is, one, the chapter COs need to keep their members informed when an election is happening and get the voices from the people within their chapter. I know a lot of chapters out there, what they do is canvass their chapter about who they would like to see that's running in a regional election. And then the chapter CO votes once they get that consensus. So it's important from a communication standpoint to keep the members aware of what's going on in regards to the election. The other part of that, I would say, for you individuals out there that would like to run for regional coordinator for an election, two key things there. First, when we announce an election nomination phase, get your nomination in as early as possible. That allows you time to do your campaigning and get your voice out to the rest of the region. That helps your chances towards getting the proper amount of nominations and votes. So that's one thing that I would say to that. And then definitely, again, I urge you COs out there to vote. Sometimes what happens is that in an election, the COs will, for whatever reason, decide, well, I'm not going to vote. Could be they don't want the individuals that are nominated or whatever can be the reason. And of course, it's your right to not vote, but keep in mind that your vote is the voice for your chapter. So it's important to engage. And believe me, you can be the vote that changes the election. These elections, a lot of times, are very close. So every vote counts. So that's pretty much what else we do other than the fun thing of investigations. And one thing I would say in reference to investigations is it's every member's right in the region to submit a complaint. But one of the things that I try to urge our leaders to do, like our chapter COs, regional coordinators, is please, get involved with your region and make sure your chapter and try and handle an issue at the lowest level. That's very important because when it comes to me, of course, we're going to act on it. But one of the first questions I'm going to ask as I look at the situation is, what's all the information, the evidence, the complaint? You want to upload or upfront put as much information as you can that will help us to make a decision in supporting your case. It's either the AB or the CS that will make a decision on whether an investigation goes forward or not. I'm just the worker bee in that sense of doing that. But definitely, the more information you provide in a complaint, the easier it is for us to act on it. So any supporting documentation, evidence that you have in the initial complaint goes a long way towards us making a decision on how to move forward with it. I hope that answered. I didn't mean to ramble.
Yeah, and let's not forget one other duty of the IG is to oversee the election for Commander Starfleet. We're actually less than a year from it, and that's in cooperation with my office, communications department. So, but we're going to do what the IG says. So, I'm gonna. But anyway, yeah, that is a very good thing that we should put out. It's less than a year until the election phase starts for Starfleet. So,
right. And
until then,
I would add to that, Jeff, and thanks for bringing that up. The key thing I would add to that, as you know, I just explained the regional. The big difference with the Commander Starfleet is each and every active member of Starfleet votes in that election. So that one definitely is on your ticket as you decide on who you're going to vote for. That's your baby to do. And what I will also tell you at this time, one of the things that one of the rule changes that has been being put in place from the last election is to make sure that we're going electronic in how this election goes. So it's important for you to have a good email address to work through, we work through that. That's a big change as we move forward in the 21st century with this.
This question: does nepotism play into the elections? I don't know what that means, to tell you the truth. When you say that, if a person is happen to be related to you, but also is good at a job, should you not try to take advantage of that? I'm a big question. If someone's qualified for a position on a regional staff or even in the Commander Starfleet staff, and he happens to be your wife or your sister or your cousin or even your nephew, we're not in the habit of creating cardinal nephews. So is favoritism without merit? No, I don't think so. I think that if it does, it's it depends on what the person does, what the strengths of that person brings that complements the staff, and that such. RCs are that way too. They complement the region by being out there, and if they remember that they're the servant of the chapters and of the people in the chapter, then they're going to be a good RC, I think. So, do you have any thoughts on that, Rob?
I know at the regional level, at Region 13, we changed the format quite a bit as we created a regional board when I took over, and we have 10 people. And out of the 8 chapters, I have 6 that are active participants. We look for volunteers. So we have 6 different ships represented on a regional board to ensure fairness and representation. As far as nepotism and things like that, I mean, if a person's qualified for the position, but I also think that a lot of positions that are appointees should actually be applied for and put to committee. I think just because if I was elected to a spot, I could have input into a nomination for the position, but I don't know if I should be able to pick every position without at least posting and seeking applicants. And that's what we did at our region. And I'm only speaking about our region. It's my opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. But we posted the position, and if no one applied for it after the closing date, then I went to the captains of the ships and I said, hey, do you want to do it? Does this person want to do it? And it was that way. And I think that's fair and transparent in the world that we live in today.
Yeah. We have another question here, or a statement, that is part of that question from earlier. Asks about a person who's been a member for 29 years. Do they deserve an admiral's promotion? Well, if they've done nothing, each promotion is based upon certain criteria. It isn't based upon time and rank. Sure, you've had your 2.5 years in to get to Rear Admiral, but what else have you done? Were you a member of the Regent staff? Were you a member of your chapter staff? Were you in the leadership position on your chapter? Were you on the staff somewhere in Starfleet Command? I mean, a department. Say you were a membership coordinator with operations, or you wrote articles for the CQ, or you're a director in the academy. Those things will get you promoted, and it's actually an increased leadership. In other words, it's not just an increased time and rank for each position. You have to do things that show that you've been doing something that contributes to Starfleet. The ranks are more like getting awards, I feel. If a man doesn't do anything, he shouldn't get the award. That's as simple as that. Each step demanded an increased of the things that you do. You can't just, at a certain rank, you just can't be the commanding officer of a chapter to get to the next rank, whatever rank that is. You have to be either a member of the region or a member of the Starfleet staff or something on that line. Doing something with those things, which enables you to become a full admiral. I've been in Starfleet 25 years, and I got that rank. I never thought I would go past captain, to tell you the truth. I mean, really. I mean, I was asked, "Are you shooting to become an admiral?" No, I never thought about it until later in life when I said, "Wow, being an admiral is a perk. It's a fictional perk, but it's like an award. You have participated. Thank you." Now, one person asked why isn't a certain person the next rank? She tells me it's a rear admiral. He should be a vice admiral. Why isn't he an admiral? Well, it depends. You got to be nominated, first of all, and that nomination has to include everything that you've done since the last promotion. He may have a bunch of credits in the or a bunch of courses in the academy, but if he's not nominated, we don't know about him, and we got to know about him, and not just about saying I nominate Joe Smith over here. He's been in Starfleet for 29 years, and he's still a captain, a fleet captain. He should be a commodore. He should be an admiral. He's taken every course under the sun. That kind of stuff. He's taken every course. That's not going to do it, because it is what you've done for the fleet, for the region, and even for your chapter. That goes along toward the promotional things. It's not just time and rank. It can't be.
I apologize, Jeff. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see the screen. So I apologize if it's the same person asking the question. But I think with the nepotism comment and then that comment, it almost goes along the lines of, is there a written procedure or a written criteria to get those, example, that admiral promotion that you were talking about? Or is it the nepotism part of, hey, we met him at this conference, he's a good guy, which is the worst expression in the world. And then the promotion's based that way? Or is it based on they have done A, B, C, D, and E, which is what you were just saying, and maybe that's part of the historic aspect of the club or things like that, because I know a lot of new members are coming in with education experience, so they have these kind of questions, and it's not the first time I heard them. Well, how does that guy move from that academy to that academy to that academy and keeps getting these perky jobs and no one new gets to come in? Do you see how the questions being tied? And I apologize because I can't read them.
No. Well, I mean, if a person's good enough for the position, they've been doing it. We've had I think 2 or 3 people that have been in charge of doing the OTS and the OCC. I don't know how many people in the history of Starfleet we've been doing it, but since I've been a member, I've known of about 3 people. And they do an excellent job. Should we strip them of that responsibility just because they've been there for 25 years? No, I don't. But there's a question right here, I think. I'll read it to you. Can a person be promoted without a leadership position? I'm using the leadership, the word leadership loosely, I think. I'm sorry about that. What I mean is, if you're doing something within Starfleet, you're a leader. If you're an assistant director of academy, or you're dean of the academy, or you're writing articles for CQ or tests for the academy,
Or
you're
there
yeah.
are other things you can do too, like, hey, maybe you want to try to get your chapter to be a part of a convention, or team up with another chapter for community service, another organization, stuff like that. I mean, it's not only leadership positions in Starfleet, but it's also taken the initiative to grow Starfleet or to grow your chapter's interest as well. It's not just only, hey, you need to hold a leadership position. You just need to be able to provide more for the chapters and for the fleet overall.
I think that's true, Mike. Mike Quigley makes a good point. He says,
Yeah.
I've had 4 separate tours in the Pentagon, and never have I seen more admirals in one place than a Star Trek convention. Well, you got to remember, there's more than Starfleet out there. There's other Star Trek associations out there. So that's why you're seeing all. And I think Greg he says something. I'm going to read it off. SFI needs to raise its value to members. It should not depend on COs to fill huge gaps in value by depending on the chapters to fill them. This has always been my pet peeve with SFI. Honestly, SFI needs the chapters more than the chapters needs SFI. Some chapters agree with you. I have to agree with that. However, how hard is it for a commanding officer to assign to a chapter member to maybe give them access, ask computer operations to give them access to their membership information? Good job. And Excel could do this also, but I've always touted, and I did it as RC back many years ago, it seems. Seems like yesterday that I was an RC, that we had started something that I think had been tried before, called the Regional Office of Recruitment and Retention. It combined those two things. I had an officer whose sole job was 2 jobs. He had 2 jobs to coordinate with the chapters on recruiting, which was actually the minor part, but retention. He had access to the members, and he had access to every member on every ship within the region. Now, mind you, that's going to be a much larger job within the fleet, but I don't see why you can't have a retention officer going through the chapter's rosters, touting down the names and the expiration dates, and maybe even sending out an automated or a pre-done letter post over an email telling them your membership's up next month, your membership's up in 2 weeks, your membership's up in a week, your membership's up tomorrow. Hey, you're too late. Can you want to rejoin? That kind of stuff. But then again, there are those that feel that it is the chapter's responsibility to keep track of them. I'm not saying that it is, but I do think that all levels have to be involved in it. From those who have the minimal access, such as the commanding officer, such as the executive officer, all the way up to the regional coordinators and any officers they may have assigned to that position, for retention recruiting, like I said, and then the retention officer within the fleet, we should have one of those. But that's a good idea, actually, and we need to have one. But I'm blowing my horn here, telling them they need. But I'm chief of communications, not chief of computer operations or chief of operations. So I can only make suggestions. I'll probably get chewed out for them. But anyway, I see we've lost Rob. I agree, Greg, and I think it would be a good idea to do that. But you have to have the number one. You have to have the material to do it. In other words, you got to have a program that will do it. I don't know whether we had it. We used to have that years and years ago. I don't know why it was taken out.
Are you talking about membership cards, Jeff? Or
I'm talking about automated membership. It seems like every time a membership was expiring, we had.
We did I remember 5-6 years ago. We had automated reminders.
Yes, that's the same.
I think it was partly explained earlier due to the fact that it was constituted as spam, and it would put more of our other important emails into the spam filter, which makes it harder for people to see.
There you go. I think Jeremy made that point earlier tonight about that, and I'm sorry I forgot about that when I started ranting and raving.
Also, there was a question that was asked earlier back, because everyone here is either a CEO or an XO of a chapter. They were asking how do we address retention in SF5 for our ships? What cool ideas do we have? It's back quite a way before.
Well, if you remember, you have access. If you remember, you have access to the database. If you don't, then you need to have a few things that you need to have at least written down. And one of those is your rank. One of those is the data rank. Maybe your birthday, if you remember, if you need that. But mostly, what day did you join and what day is your membership up? You're going to be up every year on that date unless you've gone out and come back in. Or you had a delay.
I think what the person was asking is, what creative ideas do we have to keep people wanting to come back? I think that's what he was asking.
Okay. What? Each chapter is going to have to. As far as Starfleet, a lot we've dropped the ball when it comes to membership perks. Now the CQ, while it was a hard copy, it was a membership perk. But now it's online. You can download it and print it off yourself anytime. But the other perk, like I once used a hotel thing, a hotel perk out there. It's like 10% off your stay, or 15%, depending on when. We had two at the time. One through the same group that Comfort Inn and all that. And then we had Red Roof Inn at one time. Red Roof Inn's president was a member, by the way, at that time. And I just wonder, why is he? If he still is, then we still have that perk.
Actually, if you can highlight Kyle Hunter's comment, he was the one that was asking about the question I was bringing up earlier.
Kyle Hunter?
Yes.
Oh, no ideas? Do Starfleet have to help with the retention?
He's got one further down now at 11:01 p.m.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to, if it's a perk, what can you do? Take advantage of every. You have the Starfleet logos. You have. Years ago, we actually did. An old member did a packet where you could print it out You put it out on the table. They can pick it up to just look at. Back when I first joined, we just had a page which was actually a membership form. On the back, they sometimes put a flyer on it, touting your chapter. Just do things that you think that your members would like. Get them involved in it. Do you want to have picnics every month, or dinner every month? Christmas parties are big in the fleet, and we have the ability to print our own card. I'm just looking at that, but or a membership card. But that doesn't. It takes your leadership to get the people to say, "Hey, I want to be a part of this."
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. It's very, very, like you have a movie night. Have your friends come over, do a meeting, then have a movie night. Break out the chips and dip. I mean, have in the summer, go out and shoot yourself with water pistols. Have fun. That's the main thing. Chapter presidents, not just chapter president, but every member of your chapter. It's just about fun, having fun, and we all need to come up with ideas on being creative. Alvin here says it right. Being creative on your part, on our part. We can give you ideas, and we can only give you ideas so you can fly with those ideas, but you have to do those ideas if you want to take them up. Mine are given freely. I'm not touting anything about myself. Neither are these fine people. We are here to answer your questions, to give you, the chapter CEO's ideas, number one, of what Starfleet's doing on your behalf, but number two, to give you ideas toward you being the better leader so you can climb that. It's not just climbing rank, it's climbing leadership. One day we're going to have someone to be Commander Starfleet if we're still around in 10 years. Who's that going to be? It's going to be one of you guys. It's going to be your children. One of your children, maybe. Really? Yeah.
If I could add something to that, one of the biggest things I think relates to a lot of what's being talked about is the issue for our members of recognition. And Jeff was talking about that a little while earlier when he talked about promotion and in regards to awards. I can tell you from personal experience within the chapter that I work with, just because my CO happens to be an awards director in our region, that a lot of members out there are not getting recognized by means of awards, and that can be a strong incentive towards retention. A lot of people out there, they join the club, they're like, what's in it for me? They'll work really hard in the club, but if they're not being recognized, and it doesn't even have to be promotion, but if it can be within the awards within your particular region, or even at your chapter level, if you have awards but you're not putting your people in for those awards and recognizing them, then that can be a big gig towards not retaining, because they'll look at things and say, well, I'm working my butt off, but I'm not getting any recognition for it.
That's right. And let's remember that Starfleet does have a separate award. They have two types of awards. We have the yearly awards, which everybody would love to be getting. I mean, I'd love to be fleet. Admiral, flag officer, or some other thing of the year on both the region level and on the fleet level. But we also have the individual awards, like the Order of Sarek, I believe. I don't know one of those, but there are different awards for different things, and maybe we should expand it. Maybe we should have a Starfleet Marine Corps type set of awards. In Star Trek, Star Trek 6, they showed ribbons I mean, in the original Star Trek, when they wore dress uniforms, had those little triangles and stuff. Maybe we need to come up with something like that. Both Mako Marines have ribbons. I love my fruit salad of my Marine Corps uniform. And I know that anybody who has earned awards, even the most basic of awards, are pretty, that's a pretty good way of retention too. I mean, but anyway, we have any more questions out there? Let me ask that. Any more questions?
For the Pegasus turning 25,
Yes, 25 years. The Blackhawk turned 25 years just a few months ago. We actually performed a christening ceremony at Shiloh National Military Park. We were then known as the USS Shiloh, but we celebrate that as our commissioning day. Do we have any more questions? Oh, paraphrase that. Ask not what you can do for the fleet. Ask not what the fleet can do for you, but ask what you can do for the fleet. And when you do for the fleet, that's a way. We use the example of the promotion system. You do more for the fleet, you're going to get it. We need a coherent. I believe that. I agree. We need to detail the nominations. We need to detail what the awards are for, or if an award's for something more, we need to designate that. Yes, sir. Jeremy was around when I was here. He was an RC, but he was around. So I've always appreciated people who have been around for quite some time and are still giving of themselves, even though they may not be a regional coordinator or in a leadership position. They are still able to contribute by being and there's another thing that'll keep that being the good example of being a member of Starfleet, being a Star Trek fan, living up to Gene's dream on a personal level. So, well, we're at 1 minute, 1 minute. We're at 1 hour, 11 minutes and coming up 12 minutes into this. And so if we don't have any more questions, I think we'll wrap it up.
Hello, Starfleet. Please join Fleet Admiral Steve Parmley on this month's Commander of Starfleet's Ask Me Anything, where you can ask him or any of his guests anything. Starfleet related, that is. This is your chance to ask those riveting questions and get the answers you've always wanted. Also, if you would like to be a guest on a future broadcast, please email epdirector.ama@gmail.com and we'll get you scheduled. Hope to see you soon.
Well, we're we had a fantastic international version of the AMA this weekend, and last week's After Dark didn't do too good. Didn't do too good. It was fantastic as well. So up to you guys. Up to you. So we're all. If you have any other questions, we're here. We're going to stay here for a few more minutes, and then we're going to sign off here. Well, anyway, let us sign off now. I've been joined by Captain John Darnell, who is the Senior Vice Regional Coordinator of Region 1, Fleet Captain Charlotte Gordon of the USS Columbia, also of Region 1, Fleet Captain Rob Ewell Is that how you pronounce it? How do you pronounce your last name, Rob?
Eel.
Yo, I was close enough. Region coordinator for Region 13, and our ever favorite Inspector General for Starfleet, Stephen Stott. I'm Admiral Jeff Higdon, Chief of Communications Starfleet. We'll see you next time here on the next Ask Me Anything. Good night, and you have a pleasant day.
Good